Welcome to the 700 Club. It's decision day in the Granite State. Bernie Sanders is set to score a big win while Joe Biden is dropping like a rock. Will the former vice president survive a poor showing? And who might make a surprise run for second? Mark Martin has that report.
As New Hampshire primary voters go to the polls, a new Quinnipiac national poll shows Senator Bernie Sanders opening up a big lead over former Vice President Joe Biden. Sanders jumping 4 points up to 25% among Democrat and independent voters, while Biden dropped 9 points down to 17. Sanders, a Democratic socialist, held a rock concert rally in New Hampshire Monday. The senator from neighboring Vermont easily won New Hampshire 4 years ago. The latest polls show history could repeat itself.
If we win here tomorrow, I think we got a path to victory for the Democratic nomination.
Biden dropped dramatically after faring poorly in Iowa. He has low expectations in the Granite State and is trying to look past New Hampshire.
Stick with me 24 more hours, and I promise you we're going to do just fine.
On CBN's Faith Nation, chief political correspondent David Brody weighed in on Biden's campaign.
He knows he's not going to do well in New Hampshire. He could finish fifth in New Hampshire. So he's got all sorts of problems. Here's his main problem. He says he's the electable candidate. He's the guy that can win. Well, you got to start winning states. You know, you have to win Iowa. You have to win New Hampshire, or at least do well. He's not going to do well in either one of those states.
Crisscrossing New Hampshire, Senator Elizabeth Warren is also fighting falling poll numbers. Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar are the biggest surprises of the 2020 contest so far.
There is a hole in Senator Sanders' plan financially that's bigger than the entire size of the United States economy. I think it's an example of the kind of politics that frustrates people, big promises and not a lot behind it.
As you've probably heard, we're on a bit of a surge.
Meanwhile, Trump held a rally in New Hampshire to, quote, shake up the Dems a little. His crowd of supporters waiting in line for hours in spite of freezing wet weather.
Democrats are now the party of high taxes, high crime, open borders, late-term abortion, socialism, and blatant corruption.
And what about billionaire Michael Bloomberg? He's third in that national poll and continues pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into Super Tuesday states while bypassing the first 4 February battles. Mark Martin, CBN News.
My horseback prediction is that Bloomberg is going to be the survivor after the other ones kill themselves off, but it's a bloodbath. You shouldn't gloat over the demise of your enemies, but I do believe that what's happening to the Democrats is a meltdown that's just it's beyond belief. Well, in other news, the death toll has shot to over 1,000. So what is China now going to control the coronavirus? John Jessup has more on that story from our CBN News Bureau.
Thanks, Pat. Worldwide, the total number of cases is now over 43,000 and still climbing. In China, more than 100 people died in a 24-hour period. Authorities there going to extremes to stop the spread. This video showing officials forcibly removing a Chinese couple from their home, reportedly for refusing to self-quarantine. And a masked President Xi Jinping visited a health center in Beijing as citizens still question the government's handling of the disease. President Trump reiterating his faith in President Xi after speaking with the Chinese leader over the weekend.
He feels very confident. During the month of April, the heat, generally speaking, kills this kind of virus, so that would be a good thing. But we're in great shape in our country.
The 13th U.S. case of the coronavirus has been confirmed in California. Well, harsh backlash from Democratic congressional leaders and presidential candidates over President Trump's proposed 2021 budget. Released Monday, the document aims to cut $4.4 trillion in spending over a decade and balance the budget in 15 years. It calls for 5% cuts in all non-defense agency budgets passed by Congress, including taking $700 billion from Medicaid and $465 billion from Medicare providers. It also calls for a 26% cut in the EPA budget. While there's near universal agreement the budget won't pass Congress, Republican spending hawks like Senator James Lankford and Representative Jim Jordan say it's a good start. Economist Stephen Moore, a former Trump campaign advisor, recently told CBN News both parties need to take spending more seriously.
The Republicans want to spend, tens of billions of dollars more on the military. Then you have got the Democrats on the other side of the aisle. If you listen to what they're saying in the debates, I mean, they're talking about trillions of dollars of more spending. So, it's not an era in Washington where we have a lot of fiscal conservatism.
And Pat, the total national debt now stands at an astounding $23 trillion.
I've asked our people to give us some numbers for the next 2 or 3 days. If the interest on our national debt goes up 0.5 point, how's that going to affect the budget? If it goes up 1 point, there'll be more money on interest that will be available for defense, for education, for all the government programs. Whoever you are and wherever you are, sooner or later, the Bible says the debtor is the servant of the lender. And those lending money are going to start demanding more interest rates. And when they do, and it's got to come pretty soon, we won't be able to pay off this huge debt. And they're talking about $1 trillion a year. I mean, this is ridiculous. $1 trillion deficit, the next year another trillion, the next year another trillion, the next year another trillion. And our debt to GDP is out of control. We don't have the resources to pay it off. We'll never pay it off. And it's not just America, it's worldwide. So what's looming down the road? A massive financial collapse. It's just a question of how soon. Japan has warded it off for years and years and years and years. But nevertheless, sooner or later, the piper is going to call the tune. And when it does, it's going to impair the standard of living of every single person on this planet. John?
Pat, the Justice Department Monday charged 4 Chinese military members with stealing the personal information of tens of millions of Americans. Attorney General William Barr said the men, all in China, hacked into the Equifax credit reporting agency in 2017, stealing names, social security numbers, and other personal information in the company's databases, affecting more than 145 million people. The administration says it's part of a troubling pattern with China.
For years, we have witnessed China's voracious appetite for the personal data of Americans. This data has economic value, and these thefts can feed China's development of artificial intelligence tools, as well as the creation of intelligence targeting packages.
Last week, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo warned America's governors that China is targeting states in an effort to expand its economic and political influence. Well, the Justice Department is also suing the state of New Jersey over policies protecting people living illegally in the United States. So-called sanctuary policies make it harder for federal immigration agents to do their job. The suit claims the policies break federal laws by keeping state and local officers from sharing information about criminal suspects living illegally in the United States. Well, Homeland Security officials say the number of illegal crossings at the southern border have dropped for the last 8 months, down 90% over last year. CBN contributing correspondent Chuck Holton recently traveled to Central America to find out why.
Mass chaos along the Mexico-Guatemala border as thousands of migrants faced off with Mexican National Guard troops. This standoff is a result of the Trump administration pressuring the Mexican government to stop these waves of illegal caravans before they get to the United States. But these Hondurans still plan on making it to the U.S. any way they can.
The goal is to get to the United States if God lets us. But if he gives us opportunity to work in Mexico, then we work in Mexico.
This is a repeat trip for many of these migrants who say this time Mexican authorities are taking a much stronger stand.
They want to cross by 50 and more because they are afraid. In social media are saying that they are deporting them.
So this is the river between Guatemala and Mexico. And as you can see, there are boats out there in the water that are crossing illegally, but this river is not very deep, and so you can actually see some people just waiting. It's almost impossible for the Mexican military to stop people from crossing illegally. And as a matter of fact, I was just talking to a couple of soldiers over there that said, we don't stop anybody from doing anything as far as crossing goes.
But the Mexican police are instead pursuing a different strategy. This checkpoint just north of the Guatemalan border in Chiapas state shows that the Mexican police and military are working together to try to find these migrants that are trying to still sneak through here, even though they know things are getting more difficult at the northern border. And right here, they're searching a vehicle. They just pulled a couple of Guatemalans off of one of these vehicles a few moments ago, and they're here illegally, so they're going to get deported back to Guatemala in the morning.
And they're not just from Central America. Here in the border town of Tapachula, Mexico, there are thousands of migrants from as far away as Africa, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Yemen. They're stuck here because of Mexico's version of its own wall, one made of bureaucracy.
Every time you go to immigration to make a paper, they give you a different appointment. An appointment for fingerprint, an appointment for picture, an appointment for everything. And sometime you go, they don't take you. Understand? They don't want you to be going up there.
The current situation has caused smuggling fees to skyrocket from about $2,500 a year ago to upwards of $10,000 today. And those who attempt to enter the U.S. and fail end up with a debt to the smugglers they may never be able to repay. Still, this Haitian migrant is relying on his faith to get him a piece of the American dream.
Donald Trump is a president. I respect the president, but let me tell you, God has a plan for me. And my faith will take me to America, and I think Donald Trump will never have the right even to touch me.
These Mexican troops, however, might beg to differ. From Tapachula, Mexico, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
Pat, a far cry from where things were just 1 year ago.
Well, you know, we have to be honest about what happened. Obama let it be known that people coming out of these countries were welcome here. We have not fixed our immigration laws. They are still in a state of flux, and we've got to determine exactly what we want to do and then give our military the chance to do it. But just think of a world where there are about 7+ billion people, many of them in desperate poverty, and they want to go where there's something good. Well, in going, you've got the flour, the cream of the intellectual elites of these countries are coming and leaving their country instead of trying to build up a society. And it won't work. And what's going to happen is going to be a massive, as I said earlier, a massive collapse. What can we do about it? I've been reading about the work of Truman and what was called the Marshall Plan, when he looked at Europe that was in a desperate condition, and they determined they were going to put in a huge amount of money to rescue the economies. And indeed, that's what happened. France and Germany and those countries in Europe had a rebound because America picked up the tab and stimulated their economies. But what can be done for Central America? What can be done for India? What can be done for Pakistan? We cannot afford the restoration of all the wrongs that have been taking place around the world. And something's got to be done at the highest levels of our government to say, let us help you re-stimulate your economy so that you can have creativity, so that you can make jobs, that you can provide wealth for your people, so you can have better agriculture, better crop yields and so forth, and you won't be in such poverty that your people have to move here. That's what's got to be done. But we're talking about, again, a massive program. But if we sent technology into these countries, very possibly we could help them. But something's got to be done. And here in America, we don't have that kind of foresight very much these days. Harry Truman and George Marshall and others were very enlightened, but it was to help Europe. But they don't want to necessarily help India or help Honduras or Guatemala or El Salvador or so forth. But that's what's got to be done. There's got to be a massive effort to give the intellectual capital to show them how capitalism can work, how free enterprise can work, and to help them get into businesses and productive enterprises and better crop yields and all that sort of thing. That's what's got to be done. Otherwise, we're going to be overwhelmed with a flood of poor people who have left their countries seeking a better life, and we just can't afford to give it to them. Terry?